Talking a little bit about microphone hygiene here at the Bakersfield, California. We have a little issue with spit here.
Well, it was kind of a combination of spit and skin. There was, on
hair.
there.
There's DNA on these microphones, unfortunately.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Well, when you have Scott Cox and Michael Hopper in here for 20 hours a week, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Actually, there could have been some remnants of some chicken McNuggets on that.
That's probably over here.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm gonna give Hoppin. He's got a new chair. It's going to be a new position for him
We
tomorrow.
actually thoroughly cleaned that area the other day.
Yeah, the hazmat team.
Chris was over there in a biosuit cleaning it out. It was unbelievable.
It's great.
Steve Hughes is with us now, and we've got Jason Galvin from Channel 17 with us, and the one and only Grumpy Griff over there in the corner.
I haven't left. You chained me to the desk.
Who was the Grumpy Griff Award winner for the week? Do we have one?
This week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Derek Thorne.
He's got to think of it.
Derek Thorne.
I think Derek Thorne. He went over there and won in Vegas, so maybe Derek. Could be.
I don't understand.
Else.
Why would you be grumpy about that? I'm confused.
No, he's just grumpy. Period. He had to make a decision about
that.
something.
That was a race that was delayed by rain too, and I think the motorcycle races, the Supermoto, had a little fun time out there at the KCRP on Saturday night.
We certainly did.
Right, well, at least a show by Mother Nature.
Yeah, and there was a little extracurricular activity after that first Pro Open main event. 2 Pro Open main events was kind of bookended the night. It was a lot of great racing, man.
Well, the Supermotos historically have put on great races out there, but a little bit of a change to the track and stuff this time?
This is really the first time we actually had a real Supermoto track.
Right.
You know, with about 35% dirt and 65% asphalt. It was a great track. John Piker just did an amazing job of building that thing with his staff, and I mean, it turned out great, man. Some of the jumps coming to the start-finish line, a 90-foot tabletop with those guys coming off the apex of 3 and 4. It was very exciting, very exciting.
Do we have Tom's pictures available? Oh, Chris is going to check them, take a look at them real quick.
He's scrambling now.
But I thought it was interesting though, like some of the great stuff that we saw. This is for this Saturday,
What's
right?
going on this Saturday night?
We got late models, spec mods, bandoleros, mini dwarfs, and just drift. But I thought, looking at the pictures though.
Christian Payne right there, winner of the Amateur National.
It just showed you the flexibility and how you guys are willing to change things up to put on a great show.
Well, it took a lot of work, and I'll tell you, like I said, John Piker and his crew did a fantastic job, along with the guys from the AMA Supermoto, Matt Stewart. You know, got to thank Sully Chevron and Pat Brown at Jumpstart Energy Shot for helping us out with this event. And it was something that we tried and kind of took a little bit of a risk. We were worried about the weather, and I'm telling you, on the radar, that little triangle there at Enos Lane and I-5, just Mother Nature just split the clouds, man. And we didn't really get any moisture on the ground until
the checkered flag came out.
About 4 laps to go in that second Open Pro main event. So we were very, very fortunate, and great racing. Some of the fastest guys I've ever seen on 2 wheels.
Because that's the thing is some of the racing out there, because of the count of guys in it. I mean, this has been incredible, and then to see the changes at the track, you had to be really excited about the future of that class there.
Yeah, absolutely. With Golden Empire Supermoto coming on this year, Ready Ag sponsoring their series, 5-race series. Well, 6 races, including this opener that we had for the AMA Supermoto National. They'll have 5 additional races, and we're completing that dirt section that'll stay there permanently near turns 3 and 4. It's not actually on the racing surface, but a little area that we have back kind of behind the tech building there.
Right.
Big horseshoe-shaped jump in, big berm, and a jump out for their course. That will change layouts all season long. So we're very excited about Supermoto back in Bakersfield.
What's the schedule for those guys going forward?
For Supermoto,
yeah.
We'll see them 5 times in 2016 in 2 weeks. Actually, April 23rd will be their first standalone event. Well, it'll be with the stock cars on that night, our final race in April, and that'll kick off their 5-race season.
Okay, very good. Let's talk about this weekend. What can we expect this weekend? Got late models back.
Great racing, huge crowds, and maybe a local TV anchor getting his first win at Kern County Raceway.
All right, so this is all strategic. What?
Wow.
So what you're saying is that Tim Callahan from Channel 23 will be getting in the car?
Yes. It's actually his brother, Kevin. Kevin Callahan.
Kevin Callahan,
yeah.
okay.
Cousin,
right.
maybe distant relative.
We should get Tim in a race car. That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Jason, you're racing.
I am, yeah.
What are you going to do?
We're running a sport mod. We're going to run for points, it sounds like. So
Spec mod, but that's
spec
okay.
mod.
That's
I'm sorry.
all right. That's
spec
all right.
mod. I got to
It's
get
okay.
used. I got to get used to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
You
Steve.
got
I
all-
make the same mistake going back and forth.
Dude,
So,
I
yeah.
figured you got the dirt background.
I think the spec mod class was one of our top 10 stories of the year last year. I mean,
It was.
from disaster to redemption into having some great races and a great points battle at the end of the season. So this is a pretty competitive class, right? Right, Jason?
I'm looking forward to it. I was fortunate that when I got the new gig, I decided I wanted to go racing, and so I made some phone calls, and a couple people, Steve being one of them, all pointed me to the same person, which was Shane Thompson, and Shane does a lot for racing in not just Kern County, but I think up and down California, and has for many years. He's got a great team built, the championship-winning team, and Shane went and put a race car together for me, and we'll see where we're at. I got a couple pretty good teammates, so
Who are
I
your
have
teammates?
What's up?
Who are your teammates?
Brock Thompson and Kevin Callahan. So
Yeah.
is
Nice.
the most experienced guy in the class, the guy that won the trophy last year, and then Bill Stevens running too. So there's 4 cars running out of that camp. So
And
we'll
let me ask you:
see.
are you a prima donna and you just get out? You bring your helmet and driving suit.
Yeah,
and
they-
you
yeah,
sit
they
in
call
the
me-
car. You don't
Yeah.
work on it.
Absolutely, yeah. They call me a helmet bag driver. That's what I show up with.
Show
is
up
my
late.
helmet bag.
Just
Show
wanted
up
to
Hey,
know
I went to the shop last week and took the starter out of the car. That was a
that
good
was
start.
the
that
big
was good.
I worked on cars for a long time, so I know my way around them. But I'll be honest, it's been like 5 or 6 years, and I don't know anything about these. I looked at one the first time, and I was like, nope, there's an engine.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot to those spec
No,
mods or
there's not.
sport mods. Underneath that, the shell of sheet metal, there's not a whole lot that goes on underneath there. And that's why we like that division. It's designed to be an affordable division. And as Jason has come to realize, not as affordable as he thought it was going to be. But, hey, it really is an affordable racing division. But this weekend, we kick off our Wheeling All-American Series with NASCAR late models, NASCAR spec mods. We'll have the Inex Bandoleros, the Future Stars of Racing, the Mini Dwarfs, and one of my favorite groups that comes to Kern County Raceway, Just Drift. Can't wait for those guys to get back here and really put on a great show.
I wanted to ask you about that for a second too, we had a guy got on our Facebook page and said, "I wish that Kern County Raceway Park would let us come out there and do drifting other than a show." And I was like, I told the guy, I said, you should just call Steve Hughes because they're always looking for opportunities, always looking for things. Have you been approached by those guys?
We have talked to folks in Southern California, Northern California, and once they kind of set their race schedule
Right.
or their season schedule, it's kind of set.
Yeah.
So our plan is to try and do a north versus south drifting competition.
Yeah.
I think our facility really does lend itself well to that type of entertainment and action. So they can really use that front straightaway area. And obviously, you've seen with Just Drift
They go on the
using
backside.
using the corners and
Right.
getting up on that high banking and using the entire back straightaway. I think throwing maybe a chicane back there to kind of add something. But we could actually put a course on that area that is where actually the dirt sections were for the Supermoto race this weekend there, and utilize the quarter-mile and eighth-mile areas to have a nice drifting course
Right.
there at Kern County
But
Raceway.
I didn't think about it either. You think about street racing. Unfortunately, has been plagued with problems. But I kind of forgot too that drifting is just as popular on the streets as if not more than some drag racing, I guess.
Well, I would definitely encourage those guys to approach us. We definitely don't want them doing that on the streets. We had the Scumbag Stunts out there last weekend. There's a stunt bike group here
Those guys are
locally.
fun to watch,
They
too.
are fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
And we want to keep those. We want to give those guys an opportunity to come out and do what they do without
Right.
doing it on the streets.
That's
and
where
in-
it belongs.
in-
I
yeah.
tell you what, there's nothing more. Just for a second, there's nothing more terrifying than watch one of those guys do that on the freeway.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I got to give big props out to Blake with his, Friday night street racing and Saturday night street racing or whatever they have out there at Auto Club Famoso Raceway. I think that's a great deal.
Absolutely.
And he's always been pushing that to get those street racers off the streets and to the racetrack.
What are we going to expect in the now to change gears back? What are
Mm-hmm.
we going to expect in late models on Saturday night?
Well, it's going to be a whole new field. We're looking at Adamo, Shepard, Vernon, and Wilson going to be the front runners there. I anticipate some cars coming up from Irwindale, hopefully to compete with us. And it's still our number one division, anywhere. I mean, even Irwindale, that claimed that they had 25, 26 cars last year, struggled with their opening night on their late models with 15 and 14 in their twin main events just a week ago. So we're seeing a drop in those race cars. We hope to pick up a few from Irwindale. And just continue on. So
you were always kind of speculating that this might be, last year a breakthrough season for Adamo, but Wilson was very good. Obviously, Buddy Shepard and Race and Vernon were very good as well. Do you have any sense of, is it going to be wide open, a lot of parity with the late models? What do you expect?
I believe so. I believe those 4 drivers are pretty close. We're going to see Shepard and Vernon really going for the championship. Talking to them during our winter series at the dirt track at Kern County Raceway, they're both very fired up about battling for that NASCAR championship.
Cole's got kind of that ace in his back pocket too. I saw him out there a couple weeks ago. Had some guy named Portengay working on the car. It turns out Steve knows a thing or two.
Well,
so
absolutely.
That might be he might be your sneak up on everybody.
He might be the dark horse, but they just have gotten better and better over the last 2 years, and this, like you say, could be his breakout season.
Because he was kind of one of those guys who was right there on the cusp of breaking through, and we talked about that a lot at the end of last season as well. All area points will be awarded there. We're looking forward to seeing who's going to win at Kern County Raceway Park. What else is coming up in the near future other than Saturday night?
Well, we've got to finish out April. We're starting the season with 4 races in a row. Of course, the K&N Napa Auto Parts opening night presented by KGET. Then we had the AMA Supermoto. This really kicks us into that Wheeling All-American Series. And then we'll come back next Saturday night, April 23rd, our final race of April. It'll be the late models going back-to-back, and then we'll have the NASCAR Super Stocks and the debut of the NASCAR Mini Stocks next Saturday night.
The NASCAR Mini Stocks.
Oh, yeah. They're one of our 4 NASCAR divisions out there. So late models are Division 1, Super Stocks are Division 2, Spec Mods Division 3, and our Mini Stocks are Division 4.
And the countdown to the Legends Road Course?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. We're start laying it out. I started mapping it out on the computer just the other day.
And the Mini Dwarf Road Course.
Can we run the mods on our road course? Can we as like an exhibition? Can I just
Everybody wants a road course.
Can I just bring it out and drive it around once you build the Legends?
Absolutely.
And on the Mini Dwarfs, I want the jump over the pit wall.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
It always devolves in this conversation with the Mini Dwarfs.
All of a sudden, we got to jumps.
The jumps.
Nice.
All right,
Nice.
Steve Hughes, thanks for joining us here in the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. We appreciate your time and your insights as always. We appreciate it very much. All right, come up our final segment will be Blake Bowser of Auto Club for Most of the Race. We'll talk a little NHRA after these messages.